Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. This is Venus Baby Tarot, and I'm here to give you a timeless message just to see what's going on for you in the upcoming weekend or even weeks ahead. It is a timeless reading, so whenever you see this message, that's when it's meant for you. If you're looking for a personal session, you can book in my scheduler down below in the description box, and please be sure to like and subscribe if you like my content. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on for you, Taurus, what Spirit wants you to know right now. Look at that. You have success on the bottom of the deck. You have your inner voice. You have the Three of Wands, experiencing in this deck. Oh my gosh, and look at the Tower right here. Interesting. We'll put that to the side. You have creativity. You have spiritual awakening. You know, and I was just looking at, I'm going to put these bottom of the deck cards upright so I can look at them. I was just looking at the astrology, and I was thinking, you know, with the Mars opposing Uranus, Mars and Scorpio opposing Uranus and Taurus, I've been feeling like there's just been a little bit of a pull. Honestly, a little bit of a tension point for Taurus lately, because I've been wondering, like, why do these types of readings keep coming out for Taurus that are really like asking you to take action on some sort of growth, development, spiritual awakening, that kind of thing. And I feel like the Mars-Uranus opposition could have something to do with that. You know, it's just sort of creating this tension point within you where it kind of makes it a little uncomfortable to the point where you sort of have to take action, you know, in order to no longer feel that level of pressure and discomfort, right? So you have the inner voice here, experiencing, creativity, spiritual awakening, and hope. So like I was saying, I mean, I definitely feel like there's something that's happening with you, Taurus, in terms of like, you know, how you're connecting with your intuition, how you're connecting with your higher selves, with your inner voice, really starting to, you know, understand yourself. I feel like you're really even like considering at this point all the different complexities of life, you know. It definitely is kind of serving existential crisis kind of energy, you know, where you're looking around at your life and you're asking yourself, what am I even doing? Where am I going? It's almost as if, Taurus, you're reaching a point where you're just so unrecognizable to yourself, and you know that something is needing to shift and change within you. And I feel like things in your life are shifting and changing, and I do feel like you've already shifted and changed. But I also get the sense that like there's just something about you right now that is feeling like it's kind of like you want to step into an alternate reality, like a totally different version of you, you know? And I'm definitely seeing here, it's like with this experiencing / Three of Wands card, I feel like right now it's like, you know, in the moment of where you're going and, or in the moment versus where you're going and where you've been is where you seem to be finding the answers, right? Because I'm getting the sense that like you've been reflecting a lot on the past. You've really been trying to consider how the past has played out into your present moment. You've really been considering how, you know, certain cycles and patterns and things like that led you to where you are today. And I feel like you're also in this moment, you know, I feel like this is a card of appreciating the moment, but additionally, we can appreciate the moment and still look forward to the future. But something is shifting in you in which you're looking forward to the future with more hope than maybe you have in the past, you know? Because whenever you're experiencing that existential dread, right? We have this existential crisis / existential dread, and here we have the Tower energy. You know, it can be really uncomfortable, obviously, you know, and we sort of go through this process of how do I put this? It's like, deconstructing everything and deciding like what is supposed to go with us into the future and what is not, right? And that's kind of what I feel like is happening. It's like, with this experiencing card in the present moment, you could be finding that you're focusing more on the things that you appreciate about life, or the things that you're grateful for, or the things that you're good at, the things you like about yourself, because I've been seeing a lot in readings that things have been coming up for you or things have been surfacing that you don't like, and things that you've been hard on yourself about. And I feel like it's made it really, really uncomfortable right here. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Like, it's made it really uncomfortable for you. And I feel like I have to put this too, because the nurturing, I feel like you've had to nurture yourself. You've had to give yourself grace and understanding and love and compassion and all of that, and so now in the moment, okay, in your present moment, I feel like something is shifting in you, in which you're starting to look at the good qualities, the things that you want to carry with you into your future, right? And I feel like because of that sort of shift that's happening within you, you're starting to have more hope for the future. I'm also getting the sense with this creativity card, it's very margin energy for me. I'm getting the sense that like now it's like, you're getting to that point. If you haven't already started taking action and, then you're going to in the near future. Because what I'm getting here for you, Taurus, like I'm getting the point, I have to slow down because my mind is going so much faster than my mouth. I'm getting that you are getting to the point where like how do I put this? It's like your comfort zone has become so uncomfortable that that you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. You're going to have to start doing things that scare the crap out of you, because I feel like that's where the spiritual growth is. That's where the personal growth is. That's where the development is. And I feel like that is going to be the thing that is going to shift you out of the discomfort that you've been experiencing in life, because I feel like, how do I put this? I feel like you have been so bogged down lately by past experiences, by negative thoughts in your mind, by just a feeling of self-doubt, existential dread, right? And it's just really been plaguing you, truly. And it's become so uncomfortable that it's very much that like grow or die kind of energy. That's an acronym for God, right? Or God. And so it's kind of like that. Like you're either going to grow and move past your comfort zone and try something new and put yourself out there, test the waters, throw things up against the wall and see what sticks, or you're going to stay in the discomfort. And what do we say? I have a group of friends that says if the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing, is that how it goes? Then you'll change. I forget the phrase exactly, but basically, I feel like the discomfort of staying the same is getting to the point where it is just so debilitating for you. And that like crossing the bridge of discomfort to change is so much better than the discomfort of staying the same, is what I'm getting for you. So, I mean, and it's really interesting because this spiritual awakening card, like, this glowing crown chakra, it's like, having more answers, seeing things more clearly, this inner voice / high priestess, seeing things more clearly, having a broader perspective, having a higher perspective. Remember in my last reading that I did for you, the hawk flew across my window that I look out at. And every time I see a hawk, I always know that I'm supposed to either see things from a higher perspective, or I'm being given a message from my higher power that I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So I love hawks. They're my favorite. They're my absolute favorite. But anyway, so I'm getting the sense that like something is happening within you where you're seeing a higher perspective and you're recognizing the changes that don't just have to be made, but changes that you want to make, right? And I kind of talked a little bit about, certain things in my previous readings, like say you've been really wanting to lose weight, right? And instead of like going hard at the gym, which I'm not telling you not to, going hard at the gym and, you know, changing your diet, you are focusing on like how you talk to yourself mentally as sort of the foundational point of that. Because so often people will start going to the gym and all of that stuff out of a sense of self-hatred or a self-loathing, right? And what I'm getting for you is that there's a shift, there's going to be a shift, if there isn't already, in the way that you talk to yourself, so that when you're doing these things, you're doing it out of love. You know, when you go walk a mile, you're doing it because you love yourself. When you go to the gym, you're doing it because you love yourself. It's not because of the fact that you absolutely can't stand yourself, right? And it's a shift that is happening for you, but it definitely looks like it's a shift that's coming from a place of nurturing yourself. It's not coming from a place of tearing yourself down. So let's go ahead and get your tarot out, and look at this, y'all. The 10 of Wands is on the bottom of the deck. Let's go ahead and get your tarot out and see what Spirit has for you. All right. The 9 of Cups. I love that. The Devil. Justice. Wheel of Fortune. Oh my goodness. And the 8 of Wands. Ugh. I love it. I feel like I need to go ahead and put the Emperor over here too. Well, heck, we might as well just have all the bottom of the deck cards out. And so then you have Wisdom and the Emperor. These are your bottom of the deck cards right here. And this is your reading. Okay, so let me kind of straighten these up. So what I'm getting, like, obviously, like we were talking about here, I feel like, you know, the more that you get in tune with your inner voice, the more you start to understand what you want out of life, like we were talking about. And I feel like it's coming from a place of wanting emotional fulfillment, but it could also be coming from a place of seeing how you are emotionally fulfilled in your present circumstances and wanting to carry more of that into your future. However, with the Devil card here under the 3 of Wands and what you're experiencing in your life currently, you know, I'm definitely seeing, you know, like this little dark figure coming towards this individual. It's like even though you're trying so hard, like I know, I see it, Taurus, you are trying so hard to grasp at this joy and this fulfillment in your life. Like I've been seeing it in your readings, but there's like that little devil on your shoulder that is like trying to talk you into talking to yourself and thinking about life in a negative way, or in a worrying, anxious way, or in a restricted way. And that is the thing that I feel like you're pushing past, you know? And I feel like it really all comes down to comfort, right? Because I mean, sometimes we stick with what we know, however uncomfortable it may be. We stick with what we know because it's what we know, right? I heard another tarot reader say, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And I'd never heard that phrase before. Her name is Carrie at Scorched Earth, favorite reader of all time. And love her. I've been watching her for 4 years. But anyway, so I feel like that's what's happening here. It has to do with comfort, you know, and pushing past your comfort zone is the challenge. Ultimately, it is, you know, it's deciding that I am no longer really comfortable. Like I tell myself I'm comfortable because this is what I know, but actually I'm very uncomfortable, you know? And this could be in relationships, in your job, but there is an area of your life that you are very uncomfortable. But I feel like you have a resistance towards stepping outside of your comfort zone because even though it's uncomfortable, it is what you know, right? And I feel that this is just something that you're supposed to experience. It's something, because you have the Justice card here, you know, it's something that it could be a karmic lesson for you. Like there's something about where you're at currently in your life, in this discomfort that you're feeling, that you're supposed to experience, because that is where the growth is for you. And that's why you have the spiritual awakening. And I've talked about before how we have many of those. Like we don't just have one spiritual awakening. Like we just don't. I mean, I've had burning bush experiences personally, but it has not been my only spiritual awakening. I mean, that's for sure. But anyway, so I feel like now it's like, you know, with this creativity card, I mean, this could be, you know, drawing on creativity and inspiration like we've talked about in previous readings. But I feel like it also could just be about getting creative with coming up with different ways, you know, to get outside of your comfort zone, to try something new, to put yourself out there, to push past the devil, you know? It's like, I feel, how do I put this? I guess I don't really know what to say about that. Like, I kept getting something about, like, it's just what I know. It's just what I know. And I don't know why that's what I was hearing. Like, but I didn't get anything else, like, in addition to that. All I got was, it's just what I know. And I understand, like, but the thing about it is when we know better, we do better, right? And yes, it's just what you know. And it's what you've been taught, and it's what you've been told, and it's how you've fallen into, you know, the ways of being that you're in life, right? It's what you know. But it's not working for you anymore. Like, it's not. And that's the thing. And I feel like the specific area that this is involved, like the specific area that this applies to in each of your lives is going to be very different. But I feel that it really has a lot to do with how you see yourself or how you show up in life. So it's how you show up in your job, in your business, with your friends, with your family, parenting, relationships, you know, how you show up towards yourself. And I feel like ultimately that is the foundation. Our relationship with ourselves is the foundation of all of our other relationships, right? If we inherently believe, you know, we inherently talk to ourselves negatively or think negatively about ourselves, then we will assume, whether we like it or not, we will assume that other people think the same thing. You know, and we will continue to attract that type of energy. And I'm just getting that there's absolutely just been a shift that's happening within you, and it's been uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. I've been seeing it in readings. Like, it's been uncomfortable, you know, and I feel it could even be like a quiet discomfort. You know, it's the kind of discomfort that like eats at you, but it does it so subtly, you know. And you're just like having a conversation with somebody, and then suddenly you drift off in your mind and you start, you know, you just start falling down the rabbit hole of your insecurities, and you don't even hear what the person in front of you just said, you know. And if you've ever experienced that before, you know what I mean. And and then you like snap back to, and you have no idea what that conversation was even about, because you were so, you know, just lost in worrying about yourself, you know, worrying about the way that you stand, worrying about the way that you sound, overthinking things that you said and wondering if it sounded stupid or if it even made any sense, or, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done that, maybe I shouldn't have said this, and all this stuff. And like, you're just kind of spiral, right? But it was triggered by something, and it was something very subtle, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting, like the energy that's happening within you. It doesn't really seem, I mean, with the Tower card, okay, it can be something big has happened in your life. But I feel like for the most part, it really is sort of just a subtle discomfort. I almost lost my voice on that. It's a subtle discomfort. Wow. Because it was weird. It was like I almost had to choke that out. Like, a subtle discomfort. And I'm actually like sitting here thinking, I'm wondering what area of life this could fall into for me. But there definitely is a nudge, a nudge from the universe to just grow a little bit, you know, and take some action. So I'll give you an example for me personally. So I had injured my back a little over a year ago, and I put on some weight, right? And because I wasn't able to go to the gym and, things like that. And so lately I've been wanting to get back to going to the gym, but I'm taking it very slow just so I don't, stress out my back and that kind of thing. And sometimes the negative thoughts will come to me, and then I have to remind myself, I don't talk to myself like that anymore. I give myself grace and understanding. I can't do anything about the fact that I had a back injury, and I was pretty much sedentary for the better part of a year, right? And I feel like that's a little bit of what I'm talking about. It could be different for each of you, right? It could be, honestly, could have to do with the fact that you feel like you have a creative block, say you're an artist or you're a writer and you've been really hard on yourself because you're not producing, but you have this block. And I feel like the block has to do with just these plaguing insecurities that really seem to be arising for Taurus recently in my readings. Maybe not for every Taurus, but I guess at least the ones that like to watch my show, not my show, but my videos, right? So anyway, but see, you have this Wheel of Fortune here with the Justice card and the Spiritual Awakening. So I feel like the shift is happening, and it does seem to be an easier transition with these two cards involved. With the Tower card, not so easy transition. You know what I mean? The Tower card is for me like when I injured my back, that's the Tower card. Not so easy transition. That was not fun at all, and so anyway, but this definitely looks like an easier transition. But notice how there are two doors here, and ultimately it's interesting because there's even two sides of this individual's face. Like one is dark, one is light. Then you have these two doors and you have a choice. Basically you do. And that's what I think it comes down to, that phrase that I just said, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And maybe that's what you tell yourself, like, this is what I know, this is what I'm used to, this is what I'm comfortable with, even though it's creating a lot of discomfort for you. And so it's difficult to manage or to even envision how to transition or how to make changes or how to take action. But ultimately, I feel like you're being very much nudged by the universe to do this. And it is, I feel like, the best thing for you. And it is going to, I feel like it's going to evolve for you at a lot easier, in an easier way than you would have thought that it would, right? Because sometimes it's like, we make mountains out of molehills, right? Like we make a situation so much bigger than it actually is in our head. So I talk to my children about this, when they get into fear and they're worried about doing something and all of this. And then they get to the other side of it and it really wasn't so bad, right? But that's what we do. Like we build it up and we build it up and we have so many worries and so many stressors and all of this. And then it turns out to not even be nearly as bad as we imagined in our mind. And that's what these two cards are here to tell you about. I feel like the universe is nudging you into this transition in your life, and this is your opportunity. This is a new opportunity for you to make this transition. And because of that, I feel like the universe has your back and is going to make this transition in your life much easier than you have thought that it would be in your mind, right? And so I feel like now here you have the Hope card and you have the Eight of Wands, and that is like, things moving along smoothly, easily, quickly, swiftly, right? And bringing you a sense of hope and new life about you, feeling really good about yourself, right? I feel like what you went through, it gave you the wisdom that you needed. Okay, it did. It gave you the wisdom that you needed. You see things now. You understand things now. It was really hard for me to understand why I would injure my back. Like it really was. But to be honest with you, it really slowed me down and made me take care of myself because I was not doing that. I was, taking care of everybody else. And I was not like, I was just always on the go, and not really thinking about self-care at this point in my life. And and it made me slow down. And that was the wisdom that I gained, and the fact that I needed to learn to find balance. Look at this, the Justice card in the middle of your reading. Like, I had to learn to find balance in my life. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, look at that, the 9 of Swords underneath the 9 of Cups. Yep. And honestly, maybe that's part of it for you too, Taurus. Like, you had to learn to find balance in your life, and that's why you went through what you went through. But look, the Hermit under the Justice card. It gave you wisdom. It gave you wisdom. And at the time, maybe it seemed a little unfortunate, but it gave you wisdom. Oh, wow. These are beautiful cards. Like, absolutely. See, and this is the thing. When you have the 9 of Cups here underneath and the 9 of Swords underneath the High Priestess, sometimes it's hard to know if it's our fears or if it's our intuition. And I always kind of tell people about how to tell the difference between your fear and your intuition. And ultimately, it has to do with, your body, like how you're feeling in your body. If your shoulders are tightening and you start to get the pressure headaches, you're in fear. If you start to feel a sense of peace about you, then that's your intuition, because you just have this deep sense of knowing. And when you have a deep sense of knowing, you feel like you're home. I mean, for me anyway. So I feel like, honestly, the universe is opening up new opportunities, new doors for you, giving you the chance to leave behind the devil that you know. Okay, absolutely. And I feel like it's karmic for one, and it's karmic justice, right? It's justice. It's going to bring you balance. It's opening up new doors for you. And ultimately, what you went through, it taught you the lessons that you needed to learn, and that's okay. It's okay. That's what we're here for. We're always learning. We're always growing. We're always evolving. And sometimes we stay stuck. Sometimes we stay stuck for a long time. Some of us stay stuck for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, and sometimes that just happens. Like, it does. But ultimately, we have these light bulb moments, as time goes on. And we can either choose to listen to it or shut it out, okay? And we can keep staying stuck, and bound to our experiences, or we can embrace the new energy and the spiritual growth. And I feel like that's what you're being nudged to do. I also get the sense that the universe is telling you to not take life so seriously. Really enjoy it. Really look at life as a journey. And even like through the challenging times. Like, I read something this morning from Abraham Hicks where it was like, tell the story about the things that you want in your life, the things that make you happy, and the things that you don't want, don't tell that story. Don't tell that story, right? It's like, if you've been falling behind on bills or whatever, like, stop telling that story and start telling the story of, how much money is hitting your bank account and what you're grateful for, your house or your car or food on the table, having electricity. Like, focus on that, tell that story, right? And that, I understand, can be a lot easier said than done. And that's why the devil's here. It really it requires you to be cognizant of what's in your mind, to be self-aware, and to be aware of the tape that plays in your mind, the way that you speak about life, the way that you speak to yourself. Absolutely. It takes awareness. Okay. And it takes a little bit of diligence, to reframe it, and whenever you fall back and you slip into those old ways of thinking, nurture yourself, because we didn't get this way overnight. We're not going to change overnight, like, that's just the way that it is, right? But I am getting the sense that you're going to be feeling this lighter, freer, more fun, inspired, creative kind of energy with this Page of Wands right here. I feel like you're going to be feeling alive again. And maybe that's what it is, maybe that's the thing, is that you've been feeling so bogged down and so drained and so stressed out and just overwhelmed in your life that you haven't really been able to experience life as something that's joyful and fun, and you've just been drained. You've just been drained, you know? And I feel like now you're getting this chance to feel alive again, to feel that passion, that desire for life, that gusto for life. Like, you're going to get that chance again. But it has to do with what door you choose for yourself. You know, it has to do with whether or not you choose to take the opportunities that are being bestowed upon you, that are light bulb moments, right? And make these changes in your life. Be willing to try something new, you know, experience life, take risk, and go on adventures. Or if you just want to stay stuck in what feels comfortable but is really just bringing you discomfort, you know, this is a time, I feel like this is a time to do things that scare you. Absolutely. And I know that that's scary, but do things that scare you, because I feel like you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how things unfold for you in a beautiful way if you just push back past your own personal barriers that you call your comfort zone, because it's not really that comfortable anyway, is it? You know, think about it. So anyway, that's what I have for you, Taurus. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching my video and for stopping by my channel. Again, if you're looking for a personal reading, you can book on my scheduler down in the description box below. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me grow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.